Well, good morning. Today is a good day because that is the Husqvarna Nuda 900. And today's video I want to find out what it's like to ride. I feel like over the past few years this bike has gotten quite a reputation because of YouTubers like Royal Jordanian and a couple of people on Instagram, where people know the bike sounds really great, it looks really interesting, really different. But I feel like because it's so rare, a lot of people don't get to experience this bike or even see one in real life. So in today's video I want to help that. I want to show you guys around, ride it a bit, get my opinion, see what it's really like to ride, outside of the awesome sound of course, and just give you my opinion to see if it really lives up to the legend. So with that being said, let me show you guys around. Right, so the first thing you notice when you see one of these things in real life is the styling, of course. I mean, just look at it, it looks absolutely wild. There's nothing quite like it on the market at the moment. And I think that's due to the really stripped back nature of it. There's pretty much a gas tank, 2 wheels, an engine, handlebars, and that's it. And that's something I really like. I really like the pure simplicity of it. Only thing that's a little bit controversial to me is the headlight, because it kind of looks like a cyclops to me, like a big one-eyed creature. But other than that, I'm really a big fan of the stripped back, like big supermoto kind of feel. Handlebars are really nice and upright. And this bike might look familiar to you. My friend who's borrowed this bike kindly to me is Glenn. He has his own Instagram channel where this bike is gotten quite popular over the last few years. And Glenn has fitted some upgrades to this. So it's 900R with ABS. So you got Brembo brakes in the front, Brembo brakes, adjustable suspension front and back, Öhlins in the back. He's fitted some really nice titanium headers. So we're gonna experience that. Of course, one of the most famous things about this bike is the way it sounds. So this does sound really nice. Other than that, he's got some lightweight wheels he just put on. So the bike is really nice and flickable around town. And you do notice that it's just really light on its feet. It's really easy to handle. So I do understand why Royal Jordanian has chosen this as his weapon of choice for commuting through London. Because it's so well balanced, so easy to ride. But we'll get into all that stuff later when we ride. So first, let me show you guys how it sounds, because it sounds fucking amazing. And then let's go for a ride.
So, what's a Nuda actually like to ride? Well, first thing you notice when you get on is it's quite tall actually. The seats might be a bit higher than you expect. The handlebars come up quite high. And for me, I'm like 6 foot, 185 centimeters. That's actually quite nice. I usually find on naked bikes I'm a little bit cramped, especially with the leg room, or when I come to a stoplight my legs are quite bent. But on this bike I'm actually really comfortable. The handlebars are really nice and wide, so you get a commanding riding position, as you might say. Oh. So, the second thing you notice the second you fire it up is, of course, that engine note. Pretty much what everyone knows about this bike. It sounds amazing, and Glenn has put on this SC Project exhaust with titanium headers, and it is pretty epic. Although I do must say, one thing I also noticed quite quickly when I was riding away from picking the bike up with Glenn, the throttle mapping is really aggressive. And I actually spoke to him about this, and it's actually done on purpose because he likes it this way. But for me, one of the things I like most about this bike is that everything is really easy to modulate. Like the clutch, you can precisely dose the amount of clutch you want. Brembo brakes work really well. You can it's just so intuitive to ride. And for me, the throttle response is just a tad too aggressive when compared to the rest of the bike. So I have ridden this bike stock or some other Nudas that were stock, and those are a bit more tame in that department. So that's definitely what I would prefer. Oh yeah. So like I said, clutch is really easy to modulate, brakes are easily to modulate. Another key component with this bike as well is it's so well balanced at low speeds. Like, I completely understand why RJ, Royal Jordanian, has chosen this bike to commute in and out of London every day. Because coming up to a stoplight, filtering between cars, is just so freaking easy. You can ride this bike to a standstill, keep it there, wait for the light to turn green, no problem. Oh, that engine is just epic. As I said before, in town it's a little bit much for me, but if you get it on the road like this, where you got some twisties, you're working a bit more through the gears, higher in the RPMs, it does make it small. Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry, I think I'm a bit speechless. I have ridden Nudas in the past, like I said, this one specifically as well. But never for a long time, usually only for like 10 to 20 minutes. And I don't know, I never used to gel with this, and that's also kind of why I wanted to make this video. Is I feel like the bike has a huge reputation. Pretty much everyone that watches YouTube knows this bike, thanks to Royal Jordanian and people like Glenn on Instagram. It sounds amazing, but they're so rare now. I don't think a lot of people have even seen this, let alone ridden one or experienced one. And that's kind of why I'm making this video. Is I just wanted to see if this bike lives up to the expectation of the sound, of the notoriety, I guess you can call it. And if you judge any bike by its sounds, like, this bike fits the character of the engine and the sound so well. It's just so angry. And to be honest, now that I'm getting a little bit older, I mean, I'm only 25, but still I've been riding for 7 years. I do find myself looking towards more relaxed bikes, like on a more modern retro end, and, well, not cruisers, but more, yeah, relaxed. And this bike, the way it's set up right now, is the exact opposite for that. Like, it's shouty, it's aggressive. But I just think the way this bike speaks to you, like, everything is so direct, you're so in control of the bike, that gives you so much confidence, and it gives the bike a lot of character. And just the amount of torque on tap also really helps with just bringing a smile on your face. Would I buy one? I mean, I have looked at Nudas for a long time to buy, but the main problem I've always found, and this is still the case, is that they're just getting so rare. Parts are getting rare, parts are getting expensive. Even just finding a good example like this one is getting harder and harder. And I used to commute on my bike every day. It was my only mode of transportation. But these days I have a car. I mean, it's not a very practical car, it's an MX-5. But still, I don't need to ride my bike every day anymore. It's not, I don't have to rely on it. So, yeah, that does make it quite interesting to look at this bike as to replace my current winter beater. Oh, the engine is just, I mean, it's not the only good thing about this bike, but with this exhaust, it is the most prominent. Oh man. This might just turn out to be an expensive day. So, are there any more negatives? I don't know. I mean, right now, except from throttle response and the exhaust maybe just being a tiny bit too loud for me. I know, it's pretty epic. But here's the thing, maybe I need a second to think about this, pull over, have a break somewhere, gather my thoughts, and I'll come back to you guys.
Alright,
So to wrap up the video and answer the question I started this video with, does the Nuda 900 live up to the hype? Well, I'd say so. It's pretty awesome to ride. It's a blast to ride. It's so involving, there's so much character. There are some downsides I haven't talked about in the previous clips because I've only just noticed them. Getting off the bike after like 4 or 5 hours riding, the seat is, yeah, it's not that comfortable. I mean, there's a lot of space to move around. It's quite long. It's a flat bench seat, but yeah, it's quite hard. Other than that, I mean, it's just normal stuff you'd expect from a naked bike. There's no wind protection, fuel range is kind of small, but I don't know, I don't really care about those things. And other than that, I mean, you get just amazing sound, lovely engine character. It can be quite docile, smooth and quiet if you don't ride like an absolute idiot. And yeah, it's just involving. Everything is direct. It just is what you want it to do, and yeah, I really like it. I really like it. So that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.